Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Radio Dead Air Tech Q&A. You've got questions. We've got guesses. I'm Nash. I've been doing Radio Dead Air for a ridiculous amount of time. But in addition to that, I'm also an IT professional. With me, as always, my producer, Mike Gearman, also works in IT. If you have tech questions for Mike and myself, you can send those to requests at radiodeadair.com. How you doing, Mike?
Not too bad. There was an interesting sort of almost major character on Blue Sky last week. They didn't quite make main character status because they were sort of niche. But their claims included that they graduated from Harvard Law. The same time their LinkedIn was saying they were taking a certificate or some other class in business across the country, that their husband is a licensed psychologist,
okay,
or a surgeon, or the co-owner of the law firm that they have that employs 500 people, depending on where on their timeline you look. And so it was vastly entertaining to watch everyone just like, you are really bad at this. So bad.
Okay. Well, we've got some news and whatnot tonight. Do not have the new laptop yet because, and this is actually not my fault. Well, no, this actually is not my mail carrier's fault. This is my fault because, number one, I didn't realize that this was going to be a signature required kind of thing, which stands to reason. And I didn't hear the doorbell, but yeah, I got one of these. I've got to go take it in on Monday and I'll get the laptop and I'll start messing around with it. Have to put Windows on it and such and stuff, but yeah, all those things. What else has been going on? I've redid my desks a wee bit. Let me see if I can put it over here on get the photo. And we can see what it looks like on my side of the screen. If you're at all curious about this sort of thing. Scrooge. Scrooge. And there it is. That's what my desktop looks like. I use a lot of these, which I've had for like ages. These are quote unquote magic arms. They're for mounting camera stuff, and they use like one quarter thread, and they're friction arms. You if you screw it down, they pretty much lock into place because of the way everything's. So you position your stuff, you lock it down, you leave it there. I've got everything mounted on these.
Yeah, Howard Taylor, the artist writer and artist who did Schlock Mercenary, has a massive multi-screen setup from his chair that he did with similar things. See if I can find the latest link for it, Nash, and send it to you because it's amazing.
Yeah. I've got my Stream Decks on those. I've got over on the right, that's actually a charging thing. That's a little bit stupid what I set up there. Okay, so that's the charger, right? And then I had a spare phone holder for like a car. So I put it in there, right? And then I got a ball adapter for the 1/4 inch. And because these things are on like little ball sockets, you can actually find the ball socket that will work with these. And then there's an adapter for that I screwed into this. So I've got that there and it's positioned there. And over on the other side to the left of the Stream Deck Plus, you can see there's a mount for my phone. That's actually a charging mount. It's got the induction from behind charging. I actually have my camera.
Less a mount and more a thing you just put your phone on.
Well, yeah, it's a car mount though. It should be in a car, but I use it for this. And the camera is actually on that is a mic stand, a desktop mic stand. I decided instead of using one of these magic arms, I like using the mic stand because it's more precise. These, once you kind of get it in place, you can't really adjust it the exact same way again. The mic stand, at least, you turn left and right, up and down. Once you get it in place, you got it in place. And of course, I have my my microphone on the pneumatic arm. Yeah, I just everything was already here. I just reorganized. I had a shelf up here that honestly was getting more in my way than anything else. So to replace that, I just got a cheap little $10 Sterlite set of little plastic drawers, and I put it over here in one of those little cube openings, and that's all. Simple as that. So it feels better. Oh, and yeah, if you look real close below the center speaker there, where'd my other speaker? My speaker fell down. No, you're not allowed to do that. I need to secure these with some tape or something, because these are not meant to be on their side, but I keep them on the side because it's better for the sound quality. Anyway, yeah, if you look just below the center speaker, there's this nice little button, big red button. That is what I use to switch between this headphones and my big headphones. And I've got it mounted under there with some double-sided tape, and I just push that button and swap between the two. It's a lot easier than plugging and unplugging constantly, because you wear out the connections that way. What's the orange keys? Orange keys on the keyboard? Those aren't orange. Those are actually gold. And those are metal.
Those are gold. I remember when you bought those.
Yeah. They're stainless steel. I could get a whole set of them.
Nash's keyboard has a grill.
I could get a whole set of them. I found them. I found the entire set that I've been wanting. They are $300 just for the keycaps. There's no keyboard involved. It's just the caps that go on the mechanical keys. Now, these little ones I picked up like piecemeal. You could find little kits with these. They're not, I've got them on the arrow keys, my number keys, the WASD, and my escape key. I want to have the full set. I can in no way possible justify spending $300 on keycaps when I have so many other things to be concerned about. Like, we just spent something like yesterday, $1,500 on Radio Dead Air for the bandwidth and cost there. Yeah, so that was yesterday. I can't $300 for keycaps. I wish, I wish, like, I could justify getting that laptop because that's going to be our backup in case we go down again, because I can actually stream from that laptop, considering it's a 12700H. It's technically a 14 thread? Is it 20? No, it's 6P core. No, 6P cores, 4 E cores. Anyway, it's something like 14 core, 20 thread CPU. And it even has a RTX 3050, which means I can use the NVENC encoder. 20, it's a 20. Thank you, Otak. I can stream from that damn thing. So if something absolutely catastrophic happens again with the main system, I will be able to just set it up and stream from it with no problems. But that made sense. $300 for keycaps, hell no. I'd love to, but hell no. I did get one piece of the new laptop, however, it did show up because they could fit this in my mailbox. Here is the batterazzi. I have a battery for it. This is obviously not an original. It's an aftermarket, but it seems like it's going to work. And I will stream probably on Thursday or so. I'll stream refurbing the laptop. I'll do new thermal paste and replace the battery, and not a lot of huge stuff, but if you guys are interested in seeing it, I'll show you. So yeah, that's all of that. All right, let's get on to the news because we got a little bit of it. All right, a while back, I forget which year it was, but it's been a few years now.
Yeah.
GitHub is more or less the linchpin for software development and in some cases hardware development on the internet. It is a place where everyone collaborates, where everyone makes their code available. They share, they do projects. There are corporate clients who use GitHub to share code among their
there are certain agencies that use it as well. I mean, it's for obviously for unclassified or shared project stuff. Like, hey, here's how we're going to do this. It's okay to do it on GitHub because it's not touching anything special.
Sorry, hold on a second. I'm adjusting my camera because it's acting up.
I wondered what happened to you. You vanished.
Yeah, it's
Nash has gone into the void.
It's this stupid thing. Yes, it's the stupid. The camera's great. It's Razer's freaking software that's the worst. Because I have to blank it out over here and then open it up in the Razer software to be able to make any adjustments to it. Now I can come back over here and we will edit this out later. And ta-da! Now I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, even government uses it. Well, a while back, Microsoft, it's in 2018, Microsoft purchased GitHub. And everybody went collectively.
They never spent on nearly anything.
Yeah. And everybody collectively went, oh no. Because it was I love that XKCD cartoon about that's like the Jenga tower, and down at the bottom there's this one project that some guys. That's kind of what GitHub is. It's a piece in the Jenga tower, and if that gets pulled down, software development across the internet would suffer and have to work around it. Well, news came down this week that the GitHub is being folded into Microsoft, and it's being put under, it's being put in the department
or AI division.
Why is it going to the AI division? Why is it?
Well, I'll tell you exactly why. It's because Microsoft has their own AI, and remember, I always spell that with a lowercase I because there's no real intelligence there. Own coding product, and they want to be able to, of course, feed it all sorts of code so that perhaps produces marginally less crap code. People have started getting turned off on AI generated code in the last few months because they spend as much time writing the prompts and then fixing the stuff that it generates that is almost but not quite good enough, or in some cases just wrong.
That it would just be a better idea to write it your damn self.
Indeed. Unless you're a vibe coder, because you don't know how to write your own code.
That's right. Yeah. So, and you don't know how, and they take the code and they put it through testing. They also test it with the same LLM and chatbot and stuff, which is not designed for that. So the testing is bad too. Yeah. So it's like on top, it all sorts of snowballs.
Before we get into the vulnerabilities Copilot has. So GitHub has private repositories. It always has, because sometimes either you have a project that you're working on that you don't want the source code out there for, maybe until you release, maybe not ever, but you've got multiple people working on it, so you need a repository, and GitHub worked for that. Copilot inadvertently exposed private repositories for a few major companies this year, which was, of course, all kinds of fun for Microsoft. I really don't know what the legal liability is there, but I'm assuming that there is some.
Yeah.
And especially because when those companies included, but not limited to, Google, Intel, Huawei, PayPal, IBM, Tencent.
Yeah. Yep.
And ironically, some Microsoft private repositories.
Yep. This has got everybody concerned because this is another step in the bubble. This could go bad very fast. Lots of people in the community are starting to make contingency plans. I've heard Codeberg is the one that people are most going, because it's nonprofit, open community. What?
Tell me that Codeberg's mascot looks like Zoidberg.
I know it's actually a iceberg peak is what it is. So
never been more disappointed in a company that I only heard of today.
Codeberg is kind of, because it's independent. It has no corporate ownership. It's starting to be what the community is sort of like shifting to, which will be good for independent coders. But so many corporate coders, like you pointed out, IBM, Tencent, Microsoft, all of these big companies have come to rely on GitHub for their own internal work within projects within their own company. And is all I could think to say about that, because what are they going to do? I guess suffer, but I don't know what else much they're going to do beyond that.
I would hope that there's some sort of, again, I don't work on any sort of project, but I would hope that there is some sort of toggle, whatever you can keep the trolling agents in there to keep from looking at your code, especially when it might be somewhat proprietary on GitHub. If I were those companies and that wasn't there, I'd be like, guys, we need to move somewhere else to someone who isn't, I don't know, a competitor.
And it's not just a matter of competitor. It's IBM. It's not IBM. Microsoft is deeply invested in making sure that OpenAI, that ChatGPT, that Copilot functions and could be at the expense of people who aren't their direct competitors, just their code. They're using it to. So,
but I think the direct competitors is also important, because I mean, how many times have we seen a story where some small indie software company is suing Google or Microsoft or someone else because, hey, we demoed this project for you. You were really, really interested. We talked for a year and then you ghosted us, and suddenly you're releasing something that looks exactly like what we talked about. You know, if it was just once, I wouldn't have that up here to remember, but it's happened so many times.
All right. Well, let's move on with the news. We got more AI crap. So when the metaverse was booming and everyone says we're all going to be on the metaverse in 5 years, everyone's going to be on the
Wasn't
metaverse.
That 5 years?
That was 5 years ago. Yeah. Apple was lagged a little behind, but they finally came out at the very end and said, hey, here's Apple Vision. Here's our metaverse stuff. Here's our helmet and headset. And they did it just as the metaverse was starting to collapse and the whole hype around it fell apart. And now Apple is trying to sell a $1,000 headset with no use case. It didn't quite go well. Back to AI. Apple has sort of had for a long time not had their own internal AI stuff. They've sort of been, they allowed ChatGPT to hang out on their platform, and ChatGPT actually paid Apple to be their AI agent thing. But now Apple is moving forward with a product they hope to have ready in 2027. And the sound of this thing is fuck this. What they're planning on doing, what they're describing this thing as, imagine an iPad on, say, well, hey, imagine an iPad on a little mechanical arm that will follow you around the room like this. It will, wherever you go, it'll face you and like talk to you and interact with you. It will interrupt your conversations. It will talk to you like a normal, natural person. Holy shit, no. What in the goddamn hell? Who would want that in their house?
Nobody's asking for this. Nobody wants this. The only thing this might, it's going to turn into a very expensive pet toy very quickly is what it's going to turn into.
Well, yeah, because like with the Apple Vision stuff, did not sell, has not sold. In fact, what was really funny is a whole bunch of influencers bought them when they launched and then within 2 weeks returned them. So they could just make videos and Instagram stuff with the Vision headset and then sent right back. And this thing, it's
because it was kind of garbage.
They're also they're going to be doing a smart hub that will be related to this. And their new enhanced Siri, which they're going to base on this AI crap. And that's going to be coming in 2026.
Well, will this new Siri be able to show me pictures of the Serengeti? It's an important question, Nish. It needs to be asked.
The trouble is, we're already seeing signs that the investment is slowing down. That the bubble is starting to wobble. We've seen that AI is not quite getting the adoption rate it needs. Rates that they're asking for customers are going up.
Yeah. And by adoption rates that it needs, we mean that everyone in the world would have to sign up for it and it would still make a loss.
And pay for it. Yeah, they'd have to sign up and pay for it. Because every time someone uses it, it costs them a lot of money. And a lot of people use it for free. So if this thing comes out in 2027, it's quite possible it's dead on arrival. We might be at the other side of the bubble. No one wants to touch AI with a 10-foot pole. Everyone's done with it. That companies will have busted. NVIDIA will be in flames, and it'd be like the gif of Troy coming back with the pizza and the community gif, and everything's on fire. And Jeff, that's what it looks like it could be. I can't imagine. What's the use case for this?
I'm trying to think of one that maybe involves someone not looking at a cookbook, instead having the thing follow them around the kitchen. But even that feels like it's a health and safety nightmare about to happen. I just hope they don't actually give it physical arms, because someone will reprogram it to stab people. We both know this.
We know this.
Though, second idea, if you did give it physical arms, you could turn them into very expensive rock'em sock'em robots. Or arm them with squirt guns.
It's just everyone keeps trying to put a new interface in between the user and the computer. First, it was the metaverse with the helmets and the headsets, which was dumb as hell because it was not a more efficient interface, pretending to do everything virtually. It was not more efficient. It was just extra steps. It was a pain in the ass. Now they're trying to do this with AI. We talked about this last week. It takes longer to talk, and you have other people talking around you. Even for home use, this seems just doofy. I don't know. Corb's right. They have been following the leader since the iPhone. Jobs is gone. Tim Cook has just been everything is sort of an also ran. Like the biggest move Apple made that was really impressive was Apple Silicon, was moving to the ARM architecture and making it viable and making it more powerful. That's been a big one. But I can't think of anything they've done for like revolutionary, just iterative. We got one last story this week. So if you were planning to hold on to your AM4 base system for a little while longer, with the idea that you could just drop an X3D CPU into it to get more gaming performance out of it and avoid moving to AM5 and replacing the RAM and the motherboard and all that, well, it's going to get a little bit harder. There is one final X3D CPU available for the AM4 socket. It is the 5500 X3D. This is after the 5800 X3D, then which was 8-core 16 thread, the 5600 X3D, which was 6-core 12 thread, and based on flawed 5800s, the 5700 X3D, which was also 8-core 16, but it was also flawed 5800s. Now it looks like the worst of the worst, the ones that couldn't run quite as well as the 5600 X3D, is being released. The 5500 X3D, it came out 2 months ago, and there's been very little coverage of it because it's in very select markets. You can't get that everywhere.
No.
And
if you can get it, the price on it looks okay.
Yeah, wait, what's the price on it? I double check.
The Mexican retailer DD Tech has listed it for $185.92.
Yeah.
Argentina vendor has it for about $1 less. I'm assuming that Tom's Hardware, because I looked up a second article on this.
Yeah.
Translated these costs into US dollars on their own. So yeah, $185 is not a bad price for this.
If you
we just wish they'd make it more available. Yeah.
We're reaching the point that they still have some AM4 CPUs to move through, but the X3Ds are probably done. They are probably out of those and they're not making any more. Because at this point, the price of AM5 motherboards have come down. The price of DDR5 has actually come down. The price of DDR4 is going up because that's getting harder to find because they've stopped making it. So it looks like we are finally approaching the end of the AM4. Now, there's obviously going to be a bunch of used ones on the market. X3D is kind of actually a little bit of a problem for AMD, at least on the AM4 socket, because just adding that extra cache to the CPU makes them way too good. Like they can trade blows. The X3 in terms of gaming performance, they are on a par with just the regular Ryzen 7000 and 9000 series. Like the 5800 X3D is about close to the 7600, the 9600. So it does keep AM4 viable longer, which gives people less of an incentive to upgrade. So yeah, it seems like it's about the time they're like, okay, we're going to stop here. We're going to move on. The problem with that is we still don't have a viable Ryzen 3. Ryzen 3 has been out of the picture for ages. Used to be the tiers were Ryzen 9 was the top one, the highest performing with the most cores. Ryzen 7 was sort of like the higher end mainstream, typically 8-core, 16-thread. Ryzen 5 was like the everybody one. It was 6-core, 12-thread, but it was the most affordable, or for the you still need some heft. And Ryzen 3 was the entry-level one, just the basic one that did the job, that got the computer running, and we haven't had
computer go to school.
And we haven't had a Ryzen 3 since AM4. There has not been a Ryzen 3 for the AM5 socket. The lowest down you could get was the Ryzen 7600, or technically the 7500F, which was a 7600 with no integrated graphics. But yeah, the 7600 was the cheapest you could get, and that's where's that hit price wise now? That is not as cheap as you'd want it to be. Well, not the, I guess 9600.
Which version of this? Which version of the 7600, or do you want to go to 9600?
Heck, the 9600. Well, they're actually really about the same price right now. Yeah, they're very close, like $100, like $20 difference. So yeah, the Ryzen 5 7600 is sitting at about 190 right now, and the 9600 is sitting at about 200. We used to have $100 CPUs. We don't now. We've like, for the longest time, Intel was actually owning the bottom end because they had the 12400F, which was the entry level gaming CPU. Cheap, affordable, it could run on DDR4, and it was new, and you had an upgrade path with it. Not a lot, but you had something. And AMD didn't have an answer to that except, just buy an AM4 socket. Well, now there is no real entry level, Well, remember too, $100 in 2025 isn't the same as it used to be, but double the price is not good either. That's 50% of the price. That's not, double is not the same as 25% inflation. Double is not good. So we don't really have, this is actually another reason why it looks like building PCs is becoming harder and harder, because the entry level stuff is not great. In any event, used Ryzen AM4 is still, there's a lot on the market, and that's might be what people have to go with, is used for a long time. Anyway, all right, that's the news for this week. Now we got your questions, and I might have to sneeze. Hold on. Hold on.
Place your bets.
Well, I did have to sneeze. All right. Thank you. All right. So first one, actually, there is a solution to this. Like, literally, this is a problem that a couple people found a solution to. This is from DJ Ross.
Yeah, I was going to ask about this one. The postscript after thanks DJ is from you, right?
Yeah, that's for me. I found the solution. All right, let's read the ran Windows 11 debloat, and so far it's been great with some minor yet annoying detail. Every time I open my laptop, I get a pop-up saying, get an app to open this MS Game Bar link. Does not go away. It does just go away when I click on anything outside the pop-ups. It's only a mild annoyance, but it's annoyance nonetheless. Is there any way, sort of reinstalling the damn thing, to get my system to stop putting up this pop-up. Now, what happened was DJ ran Windows 11 debloat, which takes care of a lot of stuff that you don't want on your system, including the Xbox app and the Microsoft Game Bar and stuff
and
you don't want.
A lot of these things are things you could manually uninstall, but this automates the process.
Yeah, and however, some of those things are embedded down at like the service level and other stuff that, so when the computer starts up, it's like, hey, I want to do this thing. And it's like, well, no, the program's not there anymore. Well, I did actually find a solution to it, and I'll put it over here on the screen. And I'll put the link in the chat, and I will put it in the YouTube as well. Paste, please. Come on. Control V. There we go. Paste that. All right. This is a script that you can run. What you need to do is download this and run it in a an elevated command prompt. So you have to make sure find command prompt, run as administrator, right click on it, pick run as administrator. Then put this in some place you could acquire. You could type it really quickly. And from the command top prompt, you type in ms-gamebar-annoyance.bat. This will run a script that will go through your registry and get rid of it. Just no more problem. That pop-up will go away. It will not bother you anymore. It will come back no more, as it was said in Big Trouble Little China. So hopefully that takes care of it.
It will not come out again. What will not come out again?
But yeah, I looked that up, and that apparently this is an issue for people have had before, but this gets rid of it. So, all right, next. It's nice having a question where you can just have, here's the answer. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Like,
and by the way, when I was looking up the answers before I saw Nash's postscript, because I don't always read to the end of things, I found the same thing and two other people doing basically the same thing, saying, hey, here's just change these registry settings and you're good to go. And that's what this is doing.
Yeah. All right, next one. This is from Terrence in Washington. Hey, Nash and Mike. Need some help with my desktop. I've been using a USB hub with a bunch of stuff because I'm using a pre-built and it only has 6 USB ports in the back. Damn. I like being able to move my keyboard and mouse around. It's a Skytech Oracle that came with a Ryzen 5 2600 and a GTX 1660, but my friend helped me upgrade to a Ryzen 5 5600X and RTX 3060. Now, that's fairly respectable, except I looked up, I think I found the model, and I think I found the problem. Because while it did have some respectable stats when it came out, it had an A320M motherboard. That is the A series motherboards for AMD. Contrary to what you might think, that A is the top of the alphabet. Well, in this case, the A motherboards are the shit tier. They don't have, I think they're limited in overclocking and boost stability, and they will start the computer up. So it was kind of a little bit of a cost saving measure on this one. This is a real entry level sort of.
I will say the thing I noticed, and now perhaps I'm looking at a different version of the computer, but the thing I noticed is that it does not have 6 USBs on the back. It has 5. Plus, I'm not sure. That might be a USB connection, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
the picture's not very high resolution.
I plugged in my new phone to the USB hub to charge it the other night, and my mouse and keyboard stopped working, and my phone wasn't charging. Unplugged the mouse and keyboard, plugged them into the side panel in front of the computer, and they both started working again. But now I can't get anything to work with the port the hub was plugged into. I opened Device Manager and saw one of the USB 3.0 extensible host controller entries had a little caution sign next to it. And when I opened it up, look, I had an error code 43. Can I fix this, or did I kill my motherboard's USB port? Thanks, Terrace. No, you did not kill it.
Probably didn't. There's a very tiny chance you did, but probably not.
What happened here was yeah, go ahead.
What happened here is it drew too much power.
Yeah.
And this caused the motherboard to go, no, let me shut that down before it actually damages something, because that would be expensive. Yeah,
USB does have some protections in place on it. It is smart enough to know USB has a limit on how much power it can provide from any given port. It used to be the limit
and
was something like
USBs. Yeah, more modern USBs can do more, but the limit was like 0.3 amps.
2.4, and then I think it moved up to 3 amps. And then now we have a special USB that can do power delivery. So, but if you try to pull too much amperage through a USB connection, the motherboard will go, fuck that, and shut it off. It will say, no, bad. And that's kind of what you did. I'm figuring that if this USB hub might have been a USB 2.0 hub, which maybe not, maybe it was a 3, but here's what you need to do. It's that this will potentially, might be in good shape here. What you're going to do is you're going to open up Device Manager right here, like where you saw the problem. You're going to go down
you may need to open this, but with right clicking on it is run as administrator. Just be aware of that.
You're going to find whichever, now this is just, whichever one of these entries is screwed up. You're going to right click on it and you're going to click on uninstall device. All right. Whichever one has that little mark by it. Then once you've done that, you go up to file, go up to action, and you scan for hardware changes. And that'll put it right back. That will effectively reset the device. And once you've done that, it should be fine for your mouse and keyboard. Just don't try to charge your phone on there.
I would just say you get a separate phone charger, standard little wall wart plug, and just go with that.
In the future,
you're going to get a faster charge than you'll get off a computer anyway.
In the future, Terrence, you might want to look for a used B450 or B550 motherboard. You could probably find one that will have more USB ports. It's a little more robust. It will allow you to get better performance out of your 5600 and RTX 3060. Will have faster PCIe. It's not an expensive upgrade right now. If you find a used one, you could find one for under $100 typically. B550 would be better, but B450 is pretty good too. So just look for one that has PCIe 4.0, because what you have right now, it's working and that's good, but good Lord, A320M, that is a shit tier motherboard. Holy crap. All right. Next up, this is from Jeremy. He says, I wanted to set up a NAS and I saw one of these on sale on Amazon. I'll bring this up. These have been really kind of popular lately. I've seen a bunch of YouTubers talking about these. This is a GMK Tech mini PC using the N150 processor, which is like a super low, they used to call it Pentium or Celeron, or it's a super low tier x86 processor. It still runs Windows and stuff just like the bigger ones do, but technically it's not ARM. It's x86, but it's really crap level. Yeah, they used to be Celerons, and that's what this. It's 3.4 gigahertz. It does have Intel 12th gen video output and stuff like that. They're nice little compact units.
It's got two HDMI ports, 4K at 60 hertz. So it can do video. I just wouldn't want to do anything intensive on it.
I mean, yeah, it's like a super basic little computer, but it is a computer. It'll do. You're not gaming on this, but you're watching video, you're browsing, you're doing work on it. Yeah, it's a nice little system. The question is, my only question is how I will get it connected to 3 or 4 drives. Do you have any recommendations on enclosure or any other ideas? Thanks, Jeremy. All right. This is the rub with these little devices. Because they are all self-contained and they don't have places to put they don't have like external SATA ports. They don't have there's no expansion on these. All you have are the USB ports. They're USB 3.2, so they're pretty good. However, you're limited to USB 3.2 as your connection to your hard drives. Now, there are a couple of different enclosures out there, and I would make sure whichever one you get, make sure it's USB 3.2 Gen 2. You'll find these, there are a bunch of different ones. They will hold multiple drives based on what you want to get. There's even all the way up to 6. There's 3, there's 4, there's 6, there's even down to 2. Trouble is, they're not going to act like, they can't, some of these can do RAID, some of them can't do RAID, which if you're putting multiple drives in for redundancy, you have to think about that. It will act like each drive is a USB drive. So each one will be individually plugged in via USB. Or you can find some that are more expensive that do all the stuff together. And that'll be another, if you want like 80 to $100 or more, depending on what you want out of it. Also, you have to consider the cheaper you are, the louder they are, because they need these, if they're enclosures, they need active cooling. And that means a fan, and that means noise. Or there are some that look like toasters. Let's see the enclosures for those. If I can find one, because I got a bunch of these regular style ones. Do we have any? Yeah, there's a toaster. There's one. Yeah, these toaster style, which are easier temperature wise. And I think there's a couple that will hold more than 2 if you could find them. It's fairly cheap too, because it's only like $35 for this dual one that can do 2 at one time. The downside of this, however, is it's also not NAS or it's also not RAID. And sometimes drives by themselves can be noisy. So you either have fan noise or you have drive noise. My other recommendation for this is, considering it would be something like $200 or more to put all this together between the little mini system and this, what you might consider is getting a lower tier 12th gen Intel, like a 12300 F, or even like a 12600 if you could find one for a reasonable price, and a B660 motherboard, which I found those at starting around $80, refurbed, used. These are going to be used or refurbished parts I'm talking about here. And if you have some DDR4, just like 8 to 16 gigs, you can put together a fairly cheap system that can run 6 to 12 4 to 6 SATA drives with direct SATA connections. Now, one thing that might be a little bit of an issue is finding a case for it. You may have to go thrifting for these because newer cases cannot hold as many drives. It's irritating. Like at most I've seen 2 to 3 hard drives. But the old used to be older drive. My media server is an older system that had like, you could hold like 7 or 8 drives, hard drives in there, just tons of the damn things. If you could find like, got a 9-slot case for $20 off Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, Otaku Boy. A lot of people don't want the old computer cases because they had acrylic panels or they didn't have the side windows. Everybody loves the glass ones now. They were enclosed. You couldn't see all the pretty lights in the inside of it. They're not as popular with the gamers, but people do want to get rid of them, especially locally. You'll find big deals on these locally, like if you go to Goodwill or other places, or look on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, because selling them on eBay is a pain in the butt because you have to pay shipping, and those things are big and irritating. They're hard to ship.
Now, one thing I'll note about this, this GM K-Tech, they have a version. It's not the one he linked. It's the G9 version that has 4 built-in NVMe slots for M.2.
Yeah, you can do NVMe. He's talking about drives, though. That would mean going out and buying more NVMe drives.
Now, and the other thing I'll note is I did look up a review on people who have tried to put slap 4 M.2 drives in there, and they're all saying cooling on this is not sufficient for that. You will have to add aftermarket cooling.
Yeah. Just the advantage of connecting it to SATA ports is you can configure it for RAID. You will have redundancy. You will have control over the drives a little bit more. If you want it as a NAS, RAID is kind of the way to go for that. And you can run that off like a 12100. You can run that off the lowest tier Intel CPU. Because it use like OpenNAS or whatever. There's like an entire image you can put on there for free that will do NAS functions, and it's like barely any CPU usage. It's not that difficult. So yeah, that's recommendations. Good luck. If you need any more questions, let me know. Next up, this is from Red OCP. Hi guys, you have any thoughts on plasma screens? There's a 60-inch on Craigslist for $100, and I'm really tempted. I've seen old reviews about the image quality, and I was wondering if it would be worth it. No. Plasma were big for a while. Like in the 2010s, early 2010s, late 2000s. They were popular because, as opposed to LCD, they had more vibrant colors, and also they could do something called true black. They could turn off. So you got, instead, the areas of the screen that were black were really actually black. You got more accurate picture out of it, and people liked it for that reason. The problem is, number one, power. They are fucking power hogs. We still have a plasma TV. I haven't bothered to get rid of it because we don't use the TV out there enough to bother with it. But when I was trying to get my computer up and running again, I had the TV out there as the monitor for the media server, which I was using to copy drives. I got up. I do not understand why the marriage wall and our kitchen outlet are connected on the same circuit, but they are. I fixed a cup of coffee. I used the Keurig to fix a cup of coffee, and it tripped the fucking breaker. That's how much power that damn plasma TV draws.
Yeah.
So
unless you don't care about your power bill,
yeah, we don't use it.
Moving the thing.
Yeah, we don't use it enough that I'm super concerned about it. I don't sit out there and watch TV. Sarah doesn't. We do it at like, special occasions where we're hanging out in there, but we don't. I'm not going to bother with it. The next issue is there are no 4K plasmas. Plasma ended before 4K took off. There is one 4K plasma TV. It is like 152 inches. Philips or Panasonic made it. It was not available for sale. It was like a commercial model, and it drew so much power you don't even want to know. It was ginormous. There were no 4K plasma. There are 3D plasmas, but there are no 4K. So you're going to be stuck at 1080p at most. So that's another issue. And the last one is if something happens to it, ain't nobody fixing that damn thing.
Yeah, you've got a paperweight that you only paid $100 for, so that's good. But
and they are heavy. They are heavy as fuck.
Yeah, that 60-inch one is probably around 70 to 75 pounds, if not more.
I've been able to move modern LCD TVs. I've been able to move those one-handed. They're light comparatively. The plasma TV, when I've had to mount that thing out there, when I moved back, I needed someone to help me with it. It's that fucking heavy. It's not worth it. You would be much better off. Maybe look for mini LED TV. That would be price wise. You can find a 4K mini LED. That's close to what you want because it's got a bunch of LED backlights inside the screen, and it can get closer to a better black color. OLED is what you're probably chasing, and that's really expensive. But yeah, plasma is not a shortcut to what you want to do. There's a reason they're done. They're gone. It's over. Just let it go. So, all right. I would check the email, and this is funny. I don't even know how this fucking happened. Temu is trying is offering me an influencer program, but it's addressed to Tara. I don't even know how that happened because this email is request@radio.air.com. So that's weird.
So obviously they've got something scraping channels, maybe
probably
scraping YouTube videos, and decided that you are Tara.
But it's got her TikTok link here. I don't even know how this fucking happened. I'm gonna have to show her this. This is weird. Anyway. All right. Well, folks, it looks like that's going to do it for us for this week. We'll be back next Saturday around 9 p.m. Eastern. If you have tech questions for me and Mike, you can send those to requests@radio.air.com. We will attempt to help you out with them. So until next time.